Our politically incorrect segment tonight, bad news for students at the University of Alabama. According to an opinion editor of the school newspaper, if you're white, you're probably racist. And the cause of your racism? Well, simply the fact that you grew up in America. With me now from Campus Reform, Stephen Rowe. Stephen, good to see you.
Great to see you.
Stephen, this is one of the more incredible stories that we've covered lately, as brought to us by Campus Reform. The fact, this opinion editor says not only are white people inherently racist just because they're white, but it's because they grew up in the United States of America.
Yes, indeed. And, you know, in the spring of 1963, Martin Luther King Jr. had a dream that people would be judged based on the content of their character and not the color of your skin. This student is advocating the exact opposite of that dream, and it's totally not okay.
It is, and it's ridiculous, too. I mean, it's logically inconsistent, too, because she says, white students, don't worry, this isn't your fault because you were born in America. But even though it's not your fault, you're still responsible for it. You still need to admit that you have racist tendencies and racist values and are basically a big walking microaggression. It's ridiculous. Stephen, let's look at Trinity. Let's look at Trinity College now. There's a professor there by the name of Eric Williams. This is horrifying. He posted that he thought first responders who responded to the shooting at the congressional baseball game last week, where Congressman Steve Scalise and 6 others were shot, the first responders shouldn't have saved the white people.
Yes, this professor, Johnny Eric Williams, posted an article to his Facebook using with the picture of the House Majority Whip, Steve Scalise, and the expletive, "Let them expletive die." And it's totally tragic. This is the violent left, unabridged and unmasked. And if this professor is making these claims on his public Facebook page, imagine what he's saying to his students inside the classroom that are paying over $60,000 a year to have this professor speak like this.
And listen, Stephen, the left has been telling us since November, even before November, actually, they've been telling us since Donald Trump declared his candidacy for president that hate speech, there's been a surge in hate speech and a surge in hate crimes. They've been looking at the right. They've been blaming conservatives for this. But it seems to me that this posting, in combination with the shooting of Republican Congressman Steve Scalise, this is a better example of the actual surge in hate crimes.
It really is. And thankfully, in Connecticut, the House Republican leader and a state senator are calling for this professor's termination now. And I think it's entirely appropriate. This professor should be held accountable for what he does and what he says. And this is the epitome of what the left claims that we do.
Right, exactly. And I'm all about on college campuses. I mean, professors can be as ridiculous as they want. It's supposed to be, universities are supposed to be a place where ideas come and go, ebb and flow. They're pulled apart and discarded. So if he wants to be stupid, I have no problem with that. But that's crossing the line. That's inappropriate. And you're right, we don't know what he's saying to those students who are paying a lot of money. All right, let's go to Rowan University. This one's funny. This is a funny story. At Rowan University, the bias response team issued what they call a handbook for how to interrupt ongoing microaggressions. And Stephen, they said a microaggression, one of the things they defined as a microaggression was the idea of meritocracy.
Yes, meritocracy. Apparently, hard work and meritocracy are now microaggressions. And I think that average day people see right through this. I mean, this might be the reason that the left has lost over 1,000 seats since 2010. In America, hard work will get you everywhere. And students shouldn't be stigmatized saying that hard work is not appropriate, because that's how they're going to get their career started when they graduate from that institution.
No, it's depressing. It's cynical to think. I mean, they actually used the phrase. They said an example of a meritocracy as a microaggression would be saying you can achieve anything you want if you just work hard, if you live in the United States of America. And they said that that's not true. Stephen, doesn't that relegate in their minds certain demographics or perhaps certain races, maybe certain genders of people? Doesn't that relegate them to almost a hopeless existence, thinking, oh, there's no way, we have no hope, we have no opportunity. No matter how hard we work, we can't achieve.
That's exactly what they're trying to do. And they'll hold out their hand and say, don't worry, you don't have to try very hard. We'll take care of you. And it's not the way that this country was built. Hard work, meritocracy, working your way up from the bottom, starting a business, that all starts with hard work
Right.
and making sure that you're putting the effort in.
It absolutely does. It absolutely does. All right, last one before we run out of time here. This is at Temple University. And this is a professor at Temple University actually criticizing another college, the University of Michigan, for their idea to give in-state students free tuition. Now, this professor at Temple University isn't saying what I would consider to be common sense and saying, oh, free tuition free is going to be ridiculous. It's never going to work. He's saying it's appalling because it doesn't go far enough. Stephen, what does he mean?
It's totally crazy. Apparently, free college, which we all know isn't free in the first place, isn't enough anymore. Only in a progressive professor's mind is free college, which isn't free, not enough. And kind of leaves the question, when does it stop? Do students need a handheld when they get a bad grade on a test? Do they need someone to do their laundry for me? I mean, for them, this is totally ridiculous.
Right, and that's pretty much what he's suggesting. I mean, what he's suggesting is a subsidized life here. I think it's the idea of a universal income. It just starts on college campuses first before they expand. And that's what I say every week. When we look at the culture, when we look at the political correctness that's happening on all these different colleges every day of the week, even over summer break, that's where it starts. It starts on college campuses, but then 2, 3, 5 years down the road, it creeps into mainstream culture. And that's why we got to keep an eye on this. And you guys are doing great work at Campus Reform doing just that. Stephen.